What is going on YouTube? It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for another What Sold video. This is where I show you the top items that I sold this past week so that you can be on the lookout for when you're out hitting up those garage sales and thrift stores. The week started off kind of slow, but the rest of the week was out of this world. So I always pick up these LL Bean Maine hunting shoes when I see them. Paid $5 for this pair from a garage sale. I don't find the blue ones very often. This is a blue pair. Typically they're brown, but I paid $5 for them and they sold for $35 on eBay. Not a huge profit here, but kind of an interesting story. I picked up this Ray Cook Budweiser putter when my wife and I were down in Summerville, South Carolina, doing some thrifting and yard sailing. I'll put that video up here. We found some amazing stuff. It's actually two different videos, but I'll put this one up here. Found some amazing stuff. But I paid $2 for this putter down in Summerville and didn't think much about it. Picked it up and it just sold for $35 on eBay. And where's it going? It's going back down to Summerville, South Carolina, a couple miles from where I bought it from. So kind of interesting. So I'm not going to tell you to be on the lookout for South Carolina Gamecock stuff because they're horrible. But I paid 10 cents for this hat and it sold for $31.50. The reason is the circle logo. It's made by the game. You can see that on the back. And they're vintage from the 90s. Anytime you see a hat with a college team with this logo on it, you probably want to pick it up. Like I said, paid 10 cents for it and it sold for $31.50. Definitely be on the lookout for those. So new brand alert, or at least for me, these are Bionic. I've never heard of Bionic before. And these are like slip-on clogs in really good condition. The bottoms have pretty much no wear at all. Looked them up when I was at a thrift store and they have really good sell-through rate. Paid $3 for them and they sold in about a week for $43. So definitely be on the lookout for these Bionic slip-on clogs. So this is a vintage coat. It's very similar to Carhartt, but it's made by Carter's Watch the Wear. Made in the USA, so you know it's old. And it's also in bad condition. You can see the sleeves there are stained, some sleeve staining down here on the bottom. And the sleeves are even, they're fraying. Paid $5.99 for it from the Salvation Army, and it sold for $50 even with all that damage. So this is a new one that I learned about. It's Can't Stop. It's a board game by Sid Saxon. This is the 2011 version. There's a couple different versions. There's some from the 80s, but they all sell really well. The sell-through rate on these is really good. Paid $4 at Goodwill, I believe, and it sold within 3 or 4 days for $54. So I saw this Andy Griffith show Mayberry Mania game sitting on the shelf at Goodwill, and it's new, sealed, never been opened, and I decided to scan it with the eBay app. Comps looked pretty good, so I picked it up. Paid $4 for it, and it sold in a couple of weeks for $49.99. This is my first time seeing Harley Davidson jewelry. You can see the Harley emblem up top there, and it's actually a locket that you can put a photo in. Got the Harley emblem on the front there. Didn't pay anything for it. My mom picked this up from a yard sale, gave it to me to sell. She probably paid $1 or $2 for it, and it sold for $51. Probably sold it too cheap because it is marked 14 karat gold, but that offer came in and figured free into $50, not too bad. So these heavy metal trucks are very similar to Tonka trucks, but they're made by Nyland. Definitely be on the lookout for these. Some of them can go for some crazy money. I'll put some examples up on the screen. But this one I picked up from Goodwill, paid $6 for it. Couldn't find this exact one on eBay except for one that sold at auction for $46. And it was in rough shape, a lot worse than this. Listed mine for $75. Got an offer in a couple of days for $65. Figured I'd take it. 6 into 65, not too bad. So this is definitely a brand you want to be on the lookout for. And we've talked about it before. This dead prehistoric bird lizard thingy. Definitely be on the lookout for that. It's a company called Arc'teryx. They make some nice outdoor gear. Paid $4.99 for this lightweight fleece pullover, and it sold for $68. Actually going to Japan through the global shipping program, so buyers all in quite a bit. So Ping is definitely a brand you want to be on the lookout for when you're looking at golf clubs. This is a Ping Answer 2i putter. Paid, I believe, $5 for it from a garage sale, and it sold for $64.50. Took a couple months to sell, but still pretty good profit. If you ever need to remember Ping, just remember Ping equals to Ching. That's probably the stupidest thing I've said in a while, but at least you'll remember it now. So beach music is something you kind of want to be on the lookout for, especially this Repeat Records. Not real sure how to pronounce it, but I paid $4 for this from Goodwill, and I've sold 45s with this Repeat Records logo for like over $100. So I knew that was something to be on the lookout for. I thought the CDs might have some value too. Sure enough, paid $4 at Goodwill, and they sold within 2 days for $65.50. So this thing is pretty cool, and that's what got my attention. It's actually a beer growler. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a container that you take to your favorite brewery and have them fill it up so you can have your favorite beer at home. Picked it up from a garage sale, paid $40 for it, and it's kind of unique because it's pressurized. It uses little tiny CO2 cartridges that you put in the top up here, and you actually have kind of like your own beer on tap. Pretty neat. Thought I might keep it for myself, but then I realized I don't really drink beer that much. Paid $40 at a garage sale, and it sold for $140 on eBay. So these little 35mm point and shoot cameras never cease to amaze me. This is the Nikon L35F. Definitely want to be on the lookout for these. This is the more rare version from Japan. It's a little bit older. It's got ISO that you can adjust from up to 1,000. And I paid $8 for it at Goodwill. Typically these go between $200 and $300. Listed mine a little less because as I was listing it, I found a crack right here near the battery door. Paid $8 for it at Goodwill, and it still sold for $175 in a day and a half. So I've heard of little Abner before, but I'd never seen the comic books. And I thought they were pretty interesting when I saw them at a garage sale. Ended up, the lady had the whole set. There's 27 of them in there, so they're not going to be fun to ship. But I tried to look up comics while I was at the garage sale. Couldn't find a lot. Ended up putting them in my pile, worked out a deal, paid about $10 for the whole set, and brought them home, looked them up on Terapeak, and come to find out they've got a little bit of value. Paid $10 for the whole set, and they sold for $325 on eBay.